Hello, we are starting today's episode off next to the Pigman farm because I've made a couple of extra farms here. So if we take a stroll down here, I'm actually recording this not in sync with the footage because basically I had a couple of issues with the voice sounding muffled, and I'm really hoping it doesn't happen this time. But I made a pumpkin and a melon farm, as you can see here. Yeah, so that one's going quite well. I've left it AFK for a little while, and inside here you can see how I've done it. So basically you see the two repeaters. That observer will give off one tick and the piston will get pushed, which will then activate the observer over and over again. So the second repeater actually goes into it to stop that from happening. As you can see here, the piston face will push in front of the observer, and basically the second one will lock it so that that piston won't get caught in an eternal loop, as you can see here. And with it on 4 ticks delay is the best way to have that. I think it does occasionally get stuck, as you might see here. I think there was one that was stuck in, yeah, there you go. So like, occasionally, it's very rare. I mean, I've had it maybe 5 or 6 times and I've left it for quite a significant period of time. And this farm is stacked 15 high and it only takes up 2 blocks per layer, so that's pretty good. And it's 2 on each side, so it's basically 30 melon plants. And on the other side you'll see the exact same thing, but with the pumpkins. But this one hasn't actually got stuck once. It's only the melons that have got stuck, which I believe the reason it's happening is because when one grows, the piston pushes it, and before the locked repeater unlocks itself or gets unlocked, another one grows, which is very rare anyway. And I think it only happens with melon. Pumpkins seem to grow a lot slower, as you saw by the amount I have. There's a significant difference in margin. And yeah, you can see now, look how many more melons I have compared to pumpkins. I only had, I think, 12 stacks in there, and I'm just trying to clear this up. Even though I've got 9 double chests already, I don't want it to fill up with all of them. I have to do them all in one go, so I keep on top of this. And the final farm I made down here, as you'll see by this big monstrosity, all this redstone and the flying machine down there along with the water, you can probably guess this is a kelp farm. And you can see in here the size of it. This design was actually made by Silent Whisperer, but it's a pretty generic design in, you know, using the flying machine and just having the kelp all the way along. The top part is the main part I used this help for, and you saw where I had the observers. That's actually something I added in. The way he did it was to just have a switch so that when you're at it, it will constantly keep going, whereas I just didn't want to risk the flying machine breaking, so I left it on with observers. That way hopefully it shouldn't break. But I had so many issues with it the first few days, it was stressing me out quite a large amount, because basically you'll see in a second when I go to the other side. Yeah, so this furnace array is not fast enough for this much kelp. It's actually backing up, but that's fine because I can go and put a double chest of it in my big smelter. That obsidian I put there because it kept pushing through the leaves, so I just put it to make sure that it can't actually push through if anything does go wrong when the flying machine breaks. Inevitably, because you know what they're like. And on this side, I did the same thing with the obsidian, but you can see where these repeaters are. The design that Silent Whisperer used had 1, and occasionally when it comes along, the water source you can see there would get obviously blocked off, so it would go down, activating the observer, activating the piston here, which would push before the flying machine had made it the full way across, actually blocking it, stopping it from moving. So therefore it would get stuck at this end, which was really frustrating. But you can see with the delay, absolutely no issue there. There's plenty of delay, it makes it all the way across, and it hasn't actually broke once since I've done that, so I'm very happy that that's working now. I've left this AFK for quite some time, as you can tell by the amount of smelted kelp I've actually got, and I'm using it to put back in the small furnace array that I've made, because why not? You know, if you're going to have infinite kelp, it basically doubles the amount every time. So yeah, that's all my new farms, and we'll get back to the episode now. I'm actually going to be working on my house today. Okay, so we are back at the house in my bedroom, and you can see all my shulker boxes are now sorted out and nice and empty. But we need, I think it's in this one. I've been laying down a couple of blocks, just testing out a few bits. But now we need, and I left the wood downstairs, brilliant. So I'm going to use jungle wood in the bedroom, because I like the red colour and it goes with the floor. And I think it also goes with the dark oak quite nicely. We'll probably come back down here because we need some bits from there. But since it's quite easy for me to get between them, I'll just leave it down there. I just want to say thank you to, it's spelled Graph, I don't know, some people might say it differently. Just say thank you for my first comment actually, it's really appreciated, and it's nice to see someone's actually watched my video and actually had an interest. Obviously when you're only getting sort of 10 views you don't know if it's a case of people just clicking on it and clicking off, or if they're actually watching it. So it's nice to see someone enjoyed it, and hopefully I can produce some more good content that you'll enjoy in the future. So I'm thinking maybe a shelf. What else would you have in a bedroom? I'm not sure how I feel about this bed either. It kind of looks a bit overwhelmed with the stuff around it. I feel like maybe it should be a double. What I need is a wardrobe, so how do we want to do this? I could do with a crafting table, that would be helpful. So let's just make a bunch of this and see how it goes. I've never made a wardrobe before, so this is completely on the fly. So yeah, I'm thinking something like this, along these lines, maybe one there, and I'll tell you what do the trapdoors look like? Should we get some normal doors as well? And I probably should have put the doors in first. Okay, I made it a bit tall. That's not helpful. So, I was thinking if we did something along the lines of... That's not going to work. Move these down by one. I think I'll take the ones off the bottom here as well. Come on. Actually, yeah, that's much better. That's a head height. We'll just change the floor out, I think. Not sure if I like the outside. The edges are going to have to change. So let's take this off. something like this. And in fact, I got an idea for the edges. If I get spruce wood, which I know I've got some in here. I also named some of these boxes for different things. So you got your corals, your wood, grass, and stone. That should be where's my box? That should be helpful. To make it easier for me to find those. Colour coordinating and renaming the boxes is always a good idea. And I need another jungle wood one. And then we have one up here. Yeah, the blocks on the side, they were a bit too thick, so I think that looks a lot better. I don't like the double door though. That's kind of annoying. The triple door even. I don't like the way that's gone actually. How do you make a double door? Maybe it's just not this door type that can do it. Let's give it a try with these. Looks like we might be going with a spruce cupboard. Just out of curiosity. Yeah, see, that works. Oh, we could have it like that. Got a bit of a sneak peek into the cupboard there. What I'll do is I'll cut it off here, I'll have a play around with it and see how it goes. So this is the second clip that I actually had difficulty with, where basically the content just sort of skipped out some of the video. I don't really know why, it's a bit weird, it's all glitchy. But I was just showing what was going on in my room. So we've got a little seat here. You know, this one just, you actually get stuck in here, you can't move forward, which is quite nice. And just a little one here if anyone wants to have a chat with you. I did settle on a cupboard design, which was this one. And you see there's a little hidden button in there, so I'll show you what that is in a moment. We've got a nice bookshelf here. And obviously the bed. I changed the lamp out for a tall one so I could fit this in. Looks like a little chest of drawers. And obviously we've got the record player with our vinyls in here. I'll show you what this button does now. Because obviously I'm Wasp. Wasp is an Avenger. I need a quick way into the Avengers Tower. So you come down here. And I'm going to obviously fix this tunnel up and make it into an actual minecart track that leads underneath Avengers Tower. But as it stands, it just comes out over here. So I'm going to have it go underneath this floor and go underneath, and I'll come up inside. So I'll go back to the normal video now because this was the extra clip I did, and we'll get on with building the house. Although I can say at the time of recording this clip, the house is actually pretty much complete. There's a few minor details that need to be added, but other than that, it's pretty much done. Okay, so I've done a fair amount of work on the house now. The only thing I really need to do is one more room up here, and the edges of the walls, they do look a bit plain in some places. So we worked on a little entrance here. It actually goes straight up in line with this one as well. Obviously we know this room. I've whacked a couple of torches in here. In the hallway you can see I've put a couple of torches around and just some small things. I filled in that red block finally. And when you come upstairs, so this is like a little window looking out onto your Zen garden, and obviously here you've got like a balcony area. Got some you know, sun loungers and some deck chairs and stuff. And that's obviously just so you can admire the tree from the house. And you know, little parasol, you obviously need one of them. The room is finished. So you got your jukebox, you got your drawers, and all of that, so that's all the same. And the room I'm going to do here, I have an idea for. I need to go collect some slimes for that idea though, so I'm going to go do that in a moment. The final thing I did was just a bit of the roof. This isn't complete because I need this bit to be done first. This side should be fine. This is going to stay open because it leads to this, my rooftop swimming pool with a golden base. Basically the idea for this house is to make it as expensive as I possibly can. You got the nether brick, you got prismarine downstairs, you got a lot of quartz, you got all kinds of expensive blocks. And the other thing I didn't say about the swimming pool was, in the swimming pool you got a little mini jacuzzi area, and instead of a gold base this one actually has a diamond base. So yeah, I'm gonna go collect up them slimes and I'll get back to you with the idea when I'm ready to make it. Okay, so in this time lapse I just wanted to speak briefly about my plans over the next few episodes. So the first thing I want to get sorted out is the tree. The house gets finished today, and after that I was basically waiting for the bamboo, just so we can get scaffolding, because it's going to be so much easier to do things like the tree. And the underside of the tree, the top of the cave, actually needs to be terraformed with all kinds of cobblestone and mossy stone, which is why you see I've got those vines today, because I know I'm going to need them for the next two projects, which is that. And where the tesseract is near bedrock, I still need to make the parkour for that, so I know I'm going to need a lot of vines for that room and a lot of cobblestone and a lot of resources along those lines. But yeah, basically those are the things I want to get done next. Is the tree is obviously my first project, it's my main project in the world, but I started to really struggle, and I had like 5-6 dirt pillars every time, just trying to get to the different spots where I need to put the leaves. It's so large that I have to keep making new pillars to build the leaves. And also a quick tip with the scaffolding block, what you can do is, even though you can only build like 5 or 6 scaffolding outwards and they start falling, on the final one you build, you can place a block adjacent to it and then actually build one scaffolding on top of that and go out another 6. So if you know you're going to need to go out quite a distance, just go 2 or 3 scaffoldings down and you can actually make it 12 to 18, 24 blocks out, as far as you really need to go, as long as you have one connector block in the middle, which is it's quite good. I like that. It's a nice little bit of help there. Okay guys, so I'm back from my little session of searching for slimes. And because my slime farm isn't really working, I say farm, it's just a big hole in the floor. The slimes basically don't spawn in the slime chunks properly. So what I did is I went down to a swamp and I needed a few other resources. So I have plenty of vines now for any terraforming I might do. I managed to get just under 6 stacks, or 5.5. I got a load of clay as well, because that was another thing that was available in the area, so obviously I was wasting the daytimes. I got a couple of stacks of gunpowder nearly, so that's, talking like 6 stacks of rockets there, that's pretty nice. And then just a few odds and ends bits as well. Some leather was quite nice, and some wool, I needed that. So basically I was just wasting the days while I was collecting the slimes at night, and the main thing was the clay and the vines. So let's get on with this new idea I've got. Although I've just realised I might not have enough room for the redstone, so I'll have to do it in a test world to see how much space it's going to take up, and then we'll see if it'll fit. So this is the idea that I had, and it's actually a ping pong table, a semi-working one as well. Obviously you got the slime blocks, so you bounce it over. Apparently I hit the wire. So yeah, if you hit the wire, obviously these lights come on, so you did a foul, and I'm guessing it's probably going to be easier if you're sort of standing on top of this. It'll bounce a bit higher. Yeah, there you go. And you can see it went in and disappeared down there, and it comes back out here. Obviously just I've got the half slabs here so that it will get picked up through that. The idea was to have a scoreboard, but I've been having so many issues with it, and obviously the redstone is going to be too large for the small room, so I might just put the basic design in the room just for a bit of fun, where the thing will come out here and you can count it at the end when you run out of balls or something like that. But obviously just count up how many fouls you did. But yeah, the scoreboard would work something like, it'll drop in, first light will come on, drop in, and then it'll move to the second one. I had an issue where I was locking this hopper, and I've basically just given up because I'm not going to have the space. But I mean, yeah, I could easily fix that just by dropping the hopper down one underneath the middle and moving it back. But yeah, the idea is it just activates and unlocks these hoppers, moving the item to the next step, and then once it's finished it'll go back round and go back to 0 again. That was the best way I could figure of having a scoreboard in a small space, so it is a lot of hoppers used up. Obviously if you did want to use the scoreboard you can do it that way, and it just takes a little bit of tweaking. I haven't completely finished the design yet. I will probably come back to this, I'll put it somewhere in the Avengers Tower properly. But for now, just in my house, I'm going to do basically just the tripwire hook with these lights and just have the score be added up at the end. And you'll have a certain amount of balls. Obviously you're going to use like snowballs for this because they look like ping pong balls, you know. They look like golf balls. Any kind of ball you need, you're basically going to use a snowball. But yeah, I really like the way the slime blocks work, and if you jump, yeah, you can get it over, you see. And the idea is the person has to obviously catch it at the other end, stop it from falling in. So it is, you will need to keep an eye on how many balls you got in your inventory at that time. But yeah, so I'm going to go and build this in my house and hopefully finish off the last room. So this is what we have. The room is complete. We've got 2 different coloured sides, and this is where the points come out. So one side will lead to that side and that side will lead to that side. It's kind of obvious which side it is because it's based on the wood. And I couldn't really be bothered with any kind of design in here. This is just for people to stand and have a watch if they want to see what's going on. And there's no really any need for me to do a door or anything. It looks better being open. So yeah, let's go check what it looks like from the outside now. So that's from this out. There's a pig man in my house. Brilliant. So yeah, it's looking a bit plain on some sides. I'm thinking to put maybe some little details on the outside, but other than that, I'm really happy with this house. It's looking big enough, it's looking grand enough. So I think that will probably do it for this episode. That was quite a nice little entry into my house. Thanks for watching, guys, and I hope to see you in the next episode.